support the brands that support us.
So got back from a brutally hot day testing Can-Am's 2 new electric motorcycles. Can-Am is a pretty historic Canadian brand. For those of you that have been in motorcycling for quite a while, you'll probably remember Jimmy Ellis winning the 1975 Super Bowl of motocross. Can-Ams were known for their massive power, and they were pretty popular for a while. But back to the modern day, Can-Am, the brand, has been resurrected to introduce some new electric motorcycles. To the left is the Origin, which is a on-off-road enduro style motorcycle. And to my right is the Pulse, which is a street naked motorcycle for commuting. So both motorcycles use the same power pack, and that's one of the neat features about the Can-Ams. The power packs are basically the same. The battery, the motor, the inverter, the charger, the whole unit is liquid cooled. So what that does is it keeps the temperature stable so that the battery lasts longer and you're able to keep better tabs on the temperature for the motor and so forth. Everything stays the same in level, and so the battery lasts longer, all the components last longer. Another neat feature about the Can-Ams, and it's the same for both, is that the motor and the drive system is basically mounted in the swing arm. So what that does is it eliminates the chain pull that results in varying levels of anti-squat. It's so close to the swing arm pivot that for those of you that are concerned about the unsprung weight of the motor system on the swing arm, it's basically negligible because it's so close to the swing arm pivot that there is no effect on like excess unsprung weight. So both Can-Am motorcycles, the motor is a 35 kilowatt, which works out to about 47 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a lot, but both these motorcycles are fairly lightweight for electric bikes. The Origin is 412 pounds, excuse me, and the Pulse is 390 pounds. For electric motorcycles, that's pretty lightweight. The battery is a 8.9 kilowatt hour, which is somewhat small for range reasons, but both these motorcycles are aimed at riders that are not intending on going on long distance, obviously. Because the units are liquid cooled, they have level 2 chargers where you can actually charge the battery from 20% to 80% in about 50 minutes. The Pulse has 4 ride modes: Eco, Rain, Normal, and Sport. The Origin has 6 ride modes, the same 4 ride modes as the Pulse, Eco, Rain, Normal, and Sport, as well as 2 off-road modes, Standard Off-Road and Off-Road Plus. The off-road modes disable the ABS on the rear brake. The Off-Road Plus adds a little bit less traction control. Traction control can be turned off on both bikes. As far as the performance, the Pulse is claimed to do 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, and the Origin does 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds thereabouts. The slower time on the Origin is due to the larger wheels. It has off-road wheels, 18-inch rear, and a 21-inch front, whereas the Pulse has 2 17-inch wheels. The Pulse's performance is excellent. There's really good acceleration, especially in sport mode. Normal mode is the power band is very, very linear. Sport mode, you get excellent response. One of the better features too about both of these bikes that you don't find on other electric bikes is it has not only a passive regen for when you're backing off the throttle, it uses the regen to actually put energy back into the battery. But for both of these Can-Am bikes, they have an active regen where you can actually slow down more and use more of the regen by actually turning the throttle forwards more than you would just closing the throttle. And the neat thing about it is that the regen, the active regen, is progressive. So you can actually, if you're careful enough with the throttle and pushing it, turning it forward, you can actually use it almost like a brake, and you literally don't even have to use the brakes unless you're really running fast. But for normal use, you literally don't even have to use the brakes because of the active regen. For the Origin, my off-road skills are obviously a little bit less than a lot of riders, so I kept it in the off-road, the normal off-road mode. And for me, it worked fine. The bike was very neutral, good power, responsive. As far as off-road plus, some of the more skilled riders that I talked to, they said that it worked well. The bike gave you a lot of really good response, and the wheel spin was just enough that it could keep things well balanced. But I mean, both bikes have been really impressive. I guess my only concern is just at least for the Origin, is the power pack. The battery has limited range, but for the Pulse, it's a commuter bike, so that could totally be understandable. The Origin, maybe that might put off a lot of riders, but as far as performance, it was very impressive. Overall, both bikes, pretty impressed with their overall performance. Good suspension, good brakes, really responsive motors, and really innovative designs. I think they've got some really neat features to them.